Hi everyone, I'm Hannah Huntley with the Wealth Group at Union Savings Bank. And today I have Rosalie Graczyk, Senior Trust Officer and Fiduciary Advisor with the Wealth Group as well. Hi Rosalie, how are
Hannah.
you?
Good, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Today Rosalie is going to highlight some of the trust planning and estate planning documents that you need in order to start your estate plan. Oftentimes we get clients that come into our office and they really don't know where they start. They think they have beneficiaries associated. What's the foundation of your estate plan look like?
Sure. So what we do in the Wealth Group is we help our clients. We meet with them. We go over, if they do have draft documents, we go over them and review them and provide information on where we feel that there is room for some improvement. And we do not practice law, so we do advise that they go to their attorney to make the changes and produce the documents. And part of that is there are 5 very important documents to have in an estate plan. The first is a will, and the reason it's important to have a will in place is to ensure that your wishes are adhered to as far as the distribution of your assets, and that if you don't have a will, local law will dictate where those assets go, and that may not be your wish.
Right.
The other document that's important is a power of attorney. There are different types of powers of attorney depending on whether you would like the power to be existent during your lifetime or only coming into existence if you become incapable. And one actually considers the springing power, which comes into play when you do become incompetent. No matter what type it is, it's important to have you appoint an agent to take care of your...
Which could be anybody.
Yes, it could be anyone that you trust. And you have a successor, at least one successor, in case that person has passed or becomes ill or is unable to act. And sometimes it's even best to go out 2 more places to appoint someone. There's also a living will. That document will dictate whether or not you want to have end-of-life care, as far as you are going to not survive, you're terminally ill. Do you want life support? Do you not want life support? And that's very important for your doctor to have. You're not appointing anyone to make that decision. That document is the decision, so your doctor should have that. The 4th document that's important to have is a healthcare proxy. Another term for it is a healthcare power of attorney. What that does is you do appoint an agent. They will carry out your wishes for your health care in case you become incapacitated. And that could even be on a temporary basis. For an example, if you're in the hospital and you're under medication, you're not cognizant enough to make a decision as to whether you want a certain procedure done, or there might be an operation that you may have to have done and you can't sign the release form. So that person would have that authority to do so. The last document isn't for everyone, but for more of the sophisticated estate plans, you would have a revocable trust. What that entails is having the trust document drafted again according to your wishes. Your assets would be disposed of according to the language in the trust, and you have full control over a revocable trust. But it does help with it as another dispositive document for your estate, although it allows you not to have to go through probate. Anything titled in your trust avoids probate. And for a lot of people, that's very important.
Yeah, if they've been through the probate process, I'm sure that's very important too.
Exactly.
Awesome. A lot of people come to us and they say, my husband or spouse is joint on all of our accounts, we're joint together, or we have proper entitlements of beneficiaries listed. Do they still need an estate plan?
Good question. They do. I think everyone should have an estate plan. You need certain documents in place regardless if you have all of your assets, let's say, as you mentioned, all in joint name. Because when that surviving spouse passes, that person, he or she, will have an estate, property in their name alone. So in order for that person's estate to be passed on to whomever they wish, they need to have the document in place to do that.
Right.
And all the other documents, again, a lot of people forget beneficiary designations. If they have a life insurance policy or if they have an IRA, they are assets that pass to those individuals according to the beneficiary designation. That has to match up with all your other documents to some degree. Those assets bypass the probate court, but again, things change. It's very important to have your estate plan documents reviewed at least every 5 years. A lot of people forget that. Probate laws change, tax laws change, so we encourage our clients to come to us at least every 5 years and we can take another look at things. So all that together is very important, no matter if you have all joint assets or not.
Yeah, and making sure they coincide with one another too. Making sure that your beneficiary designations coincide with your will and vice versa.
Absolutely.
And it's nice to have a second set of eyes on that looks at that whole picture.
Exactly.
Awesome. How often would you say that, you mentioned 5 years is when you review things. Is there a period of time where you should be reviewing, obviously life events you would want to review?
Absolutely. And a good point. A lot of times they're in the middle of getting a divorce. They forget about their estate plan documents. That is very important, especially where you have a marriage that has children from a first marriage. That's very important. And a lot of times that situation, you'll see more of the trust coming into play. And heaven forbid if someone passes, they forget about the surviving spouse. Review your documents. More than likely, you'll need to update them. So that's important as well. People having children, a lot of times you need to incorporate that in your will. Who is going to be the guardian of your children? Everyone thinks, well, we don't need to take care of that. Accidents happen. You could be in a car accident. Anything can happen. And you need to name guardians to take care of your minor children. So that's very important as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, things happen, obviously, that you don't plan for, and it's important to have these documents in place so that your wishes are taken care of, and it's not, because other than that, it's up to the state to make those decisions as who's going to take care of your children.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if there's no one named, someone can come forward and petition the court. It doesn't mean they're going to get approved to be able to take on that responsibility. And again, everyone needs an estate plan no matter what age. It's not only the amount of assets you have, but it's whatever age you are.
It is, I don't have enough assets. I don't need, everything's tied up in my checking, my savings, my retirement accounts, and our home. And that's all we have. And we don't have a big enough estate plan to have these documents drafted, but really it's for everyone.
It is for everyone. That's the important thing about estate planning. Everyone should have a plan. You need something in place so that you can sleep better at night. And when our clients sleep better at night, we feel we're doing our job right. We do take a personal stance in this. We want to make sure that everything's in good order. We work with the client's attorney, their accountant, everything with their estate plan. We want to make sure everything is in good order. And we get a lot of compliments from clients that they feel so much relief once their estate plan's in order. They look to us for our help, and it's continuous. Things change. As I said, not only laws change, but the person's situation. So we're always in constant communication with them, which I think is very important.
Yeah, I agree. And what sets us apart at Union Savings Bank, and especially your team that takes care of this, is the corporate trustee or executor position that you can take. Can you explain a little bit about that process and that transition, and who is the right candidate for that kind of?
Sure. Actually, a lot of people don't realize that Union Savings Bank can act as a corporate executor or a corporate trustee. And we have found it to be very beneficial to our clients. A lot of reasons are we're permanent. No, we're not going anywhere. If you're going to name a family member, which is usually the case, the first thought comes in mind is that I'm going to name my son and daughter or one of the other as, let's say, a trustee. What happens is we're always going to be here. They are not, unfortunately. They may be, they'll pass, or they may become ill. They don't have the time to add, to be able to take on that responsibility.
Or the expertise.
Yes, they don't have the expertise. And the expertise that we offer is not only the investment management of their trust assets, for an example, but it is accountings. We do accounting work for those trusts that are established under an individual's will. Those are testamentary trusts. We take care of that service for them. We also work with a professional income tax preparer. They do all the fiduciary income tax work. And also what's important is we have the impartiality. So if there are distributions to take place from a trust and a family member is going to make that decision, I have seen, unfortunately, over the years, families fall apart. They argue. It's awful. It really is. And we're impartial. We're there to manage it, and it keeps harmony within the family. On the estate side, we can act as a corporate executor, and we take care of the estate from the beginning to the end. We file the will if there is one, or petition the court for an administration if there's no will. We do all the probate documents. We don't file them. We have an attorney that we work with, usually the drafting attorney, who will file all the documents with the court. We value the assets. We secure the assets. If it's real estate, we secure the real estate. We sell the real estate. We do the accounting work, and also the fiduciary income tax returns for the estate, right down to the final distribution of the estate to the beneficiaries. The important thing is, and I think is an important differentiator for Union Savings Bank, is we have the compassion, we are genuine, we really have hands-on personal service for the family going through such an emotional time. And I think that is huge. We've received many, many thank yous from our clients' families saying, thank you for getting me through this. I could have never done it. I don't have the time or expertise. And you establish another relationship with the family, which is nice. And
generally, you're establishing those relationships with several generations while that first generation might still be alive. So it helps that process in building trust with the second generation and potentially the third generation all at the same time.
That's very important. You're right. We enjoy, and we feel privileged that we can work with our clients, their children, setting up even accounts for their grandchildren. I mean, we have trusts now that are multi-generational, and we're very proud of that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing some of your expertise. I know there's a lot to unfold in this category.
You're welcome, Hannah. Thank you for having me.
Of course. If you have any further questions or would like to review your estate plan with someone in our trust office, please feel free to reach out to Rosalie directly. Her contact information will be listed below, or feel free to reach out to me directly and I can put you in contact with someone on the team. Thank you again for listening and hope to see you soon. Take care.